KJ, a global channel. The Political System and Me. Series 3 Institutions, Power, Rights, and Accountability. E14 My Institutions, How Accountability Works. I used to think institutions were buildings. A courthouse with columns. A ministry with flags. A parliament with microphones. A police station with uniforms. A school with a gate. A hospital with a signboard. I thought institutions were places where government happens. Far away from ordinary people. Far away from daily life. Far away from my own struggle to survive. But institutions are not only buildings. Institutions are restraints. Institutions are the rules, records, duties, procedures, and consequences that prevent power from becoming private property. A nation can have leaders without institutions and become a tribe ruled by force. A nation can have elections without institutions and become a theater of chaos. A nation can have laws without institutions and become a museum of paper. This is where our question begins. How does accountability actually work? The viewer does not encounter this first as theory, but as a condition of life. When a decision harms you, who had the authority? Who had the duty? What record should exist? Who can review it? Who must answer? Who can correct it? And what consequence prevents it from happening again? That is the accountability chain. Authority, duty, record, oversight, answer, correction, consequence. Institutions are what turn ideals into reality. They make justice repeatable rather than accidental. Not with begging. Not with praise. Not with loyalty. But with rules. With procedures. With oversight. With consequences. This episode is about that ability. How accountability works. And why every citizen must understand it. Because without institutional accountability, democracy becomes a vulnerable dream and dictatorship becomes an inevitable recurrence. Institutions are the long-term memory of governance. The system reveal is the accountability and oversight chain. Institutions matter more than leaders because they outlive personalities and constrain them. In plain language, the hidden mechanism is accountability and oversight. Accountability means power must explain itself, accept responsibility, and face consequences. Accountability is not only a speech. It is not only an apology. It is not only a promise to do better next time. Real accountability means that authority is traceable, duty is defined, records are preserved, oversight is independent, answers are required, correction is possible, and consequences are real. The budget is one of the most powerful accountability documents a society possesses. Because a budget reveals priorities. It shows what is funded, what is neglected, who benefits, who is ignored, and whether public money serves public duty. Institutions are the design of protection in a society. They are the invisible engineering that determines whether power is controlled or uncontrolled. Whether corruption is punished or rewarded. Whether rights are real or decorative. Whether citizens are protected or preyed upon. Accountability means power must answer to someone, somewhere, through some mechanism. Officials must explain decisions. Records must show what happened. Oversight must be able to examine the record. Courts, auditors, parliaments, complaint bodies, and independent reviewers must be able to act. And when abuse is proven, correction and consequence must follow. Real accountability is a system, an ecosystem, a network where power cannot hide. A society's accountability system is not one institution alone. It is a network of guardians, each with a distinct function. Legislatures question government, approve laws, examine budgets, and represent public concerns. Courts protect rights, review legality, hear evidence, and provide remedies. Audit institutions follow public money and expose misuse. Ombudsmen and complaint bodies give citizens a route to challenge administrative failure. Anti-corruption bodies investigate abuse of entrusted power. Election bodies protect the integrity of representation. Civil service systems defend merit and professionalism against patronage. Independent media, civil society, and informed citizens help protect public truth. Federal democracy strengthens accountability by distributing power and multiplying oversight. Accountability becomes vertical, citizens holding the state to account. It becomes horizontal, institutions checking other institutions. And it becomes multi-level, local, regional, and national authorities answering within their proper responsibilities. Instead of stopping at the visible outcome, map institutions through the accountability chain. Authority, duty, record, oversight, answer, correction, consequence. Each arrow asks a different accountability question. Who authorized the decision? Who had the duty to act? What record should exist? What institution can review the record? Who must answer? What correction is available? And what consequence prevents repetition? A broken outcome may begin far upstream. The visible harm can come from an unjust rule, an unfunded institution, a hidden record, a captured oversight body, or a remedy that exists only on paper. The chain prevents us from reducing a system failure to one personality. It identifies the point where law, capacity, evidence, oversight, correction, or enforcement stopped working. When citizens and professionals can locate that break, criticism becomes more accurate and reform becomes more practical. For this episode, the principal mechanism is the accountability and oversight chain. The production graphic must make every link readable on a phone screen and must label country-specific or proposed arrangements honestly. Under dictatorship, institutions are shaped primarily by concentrated command. Information is restricted. Institutions answer upward. Challenge may carry personal risk. The court may exist, but independence is weak. The parliament may exist, but oversight is controlled. The law may exist, but consequence depends on power. In a fragile democracy, formal rules may exist while patronage, unequal capacity, corruption, politicization, or weak enforcement makes protection inconsistent. Citizens may have rights on paper, but still struggle to find a safe complaint route. Records may exist, but not be public. Oversight may exist, but lack independence. Correction may be promised, but not enforced. In a functioning federal democracy, authority is constitutionally distributed, common rights remain enforceable, and more than one institution can question, review, or correct harmful power. No democratic design is self-executing. Institutions require capacity, integrity, public participation, professional standards, and civic vigilance. The viewer should compare who decides, how authority was obtained, whether records are public, whether affected people participate, and whether correction and proportionate consequence are available in practice. Protection becomes durable only when institutions are converted into rules, responsibilities, records, and remedies. The minimum guardrails are 1. Clear legal authority. 2. Publicly accessible records. 3. Independent oversight. 4. A usable complaint or appeal route. 5. Correction and proportionate consequence. These safeguards work as a system. A published rule without an independent reviewer can become theater. Oversight without records cannot see. Participation without safety can expose people. And a remedy without enforcement does not repair the harm. Global relevance. The institutional test applies across political labels. Who decides? What limits power? What information is public? Who participates? And whether a real correction or remedy exists. Myanmar relevance. Use ordinary lived experience only where it clarifies the mechanism. Avoid turning Myanmar into dramatic background or implying that one national experience fits every society. Here is the civic practice for this episode. See and ask. Identify the main guardian institutions near you. Audit bodies. Ombudsman offices. Courts. Parliament or assemblies. Complaint bodies. Independent commissions. Ask whether they function in practice, not only whether they exist in name. Verify. Examine one institution's mandate, reporting duty, oversight body, published record, and correction mechanism. ACT. Assess one institution against the accountability chain and record the first missing link. Is the authority unclear? Is the duty undefined? Is the record hidden? Is the oversight captured? Is the answer missing? Is the correction weak? Or is the consequence absent? Review. Record whether you can name the responsible institution, evidence, safeguard, or remedy, and one safe next step. Protect victims, witnesses, family members, confidential records, and digital security before taking any outward step. A society without institutional immunity becomes sick, even if it appears strong. Because unrestrained power is a virus. And the most dangerous virus is not poverty. It is impunity. If we want a future where dignity is protected and tyranny cannot return, we must build institutions that make accountability unavoidable. Because a political system is not saved by good intentions. It is saved by structures that force power to answer. The principle to carry forward is this. Institutions matter more than leaders because they outlive personalities and constrain them. Ask yourself, what part of institutional accountability have I treated as normal even though it should be visible, answerable, and correctable? Good intentions depend on character. Public protection depends on institutions. In the next episode, we continue with my elections and representation. How power is chosen. Continue the playlist, use the worksheet, and keep the practice safe, truthful, and disciplined. The system shapes our lives. Our participation shapes the system. Subscribe. Learn. Participate. Shape the future. KJA. Knowledge justifies authority.